Hey guys, Lizardlea here for 4 Heavenly Beasts Day 40. So here is the progress from day 39. It would be awesome if I could finish today, but no promises. I just showered beforehand because I had a terrible day yesterday, and I didn't shower yesterday, and I was like, that's gross. My Uncle Terry passed away, so I want to cross-stitch. Cross-stitching will make me feel better. Okay, David isn't feeling it today, so I'm going to be doing this narration on my own. It was a while back, but I left off on number 8, so number 9. What is the most bizarre, wrong number, text, or phone call you ever received? All of the wrong ones I can remember, it's usually just like, they think I'm Sarah, their employee, and I'm like, sorry, you've got the wrong number. And most of the time, I don't think I get a response. I feel like I just tell them, like, hey, yeah, no, I'm not Sarah. And then there's nothing. Not a, oh, sorry. Which is fine, like, whatever. I hope that they try to actually get the employee's correct number and don't penalize them for, you know, either typing their phone number in wrong or the manager themselves writing it down wrong, because that does happen. We all make mistakes. Otherwise, I don't know. I get a lot of messages from people thinking that I am my mom or my dad based on the name they send, and I ignore those because I'm just like, no. This number has always been mine. It has always been associated with Elizabeth. You're just trying to get to me, or get to my parents through me, and that's not cool, so no. I don't have the issue like David, where I have the same name as my dad, so I'm good. 10. What is a behavior that you find strangely endearing or attractive? I mean, Exhibit A, almost anything DJ does. 11. If you could read the mind of one celebrity, who would it be? I don't know. Is there one that, if I read their mind, it would make me rich? Because I doubt it. Like, I could write down the words for whatever song they're thinking of, but I can't play a single instrument other than the recorder that I did in, like, 3rd grade. And the 2 scales I learned on the piano in 6th grade, which I don't know if I remember anything. But, yeah, like, I have no interest in knowing their personal matters. I'm not friends with them, so I don't care, frankly. 12. What is the most unbelievable yet true excuse you have ever had for being late? Okay, I feel like I've done these before. Maybe I'm going crazy. But no, mine was going to the dentist. Or the orthodontist, excuse me. I was getting my braces tightened. I got there late because the traffic on Flamingo was backed up. There were guys in hazmat suits going in and out of the building after the Flamingo building. But it was on the opposite side. So it was on the same side of the street as, like, the Bellagio, I want to say, the Bellagio Fountains. I don't remember what building it was. It was after one of the bridges, but I couldn't tell you exactly what building it was. But I was freaking out, and I was just like, I'm going to be late. But I was like, yeah, there's people with hazmat suits over there. Like, traffic's bad. I recommend you guys don't go that way. I never Googled it to find out what was happening, so I don't know. 13. What is your favorite word to say out loud? Whippersnapper. I love whippersnapper. So much fun. 14. If you could eliminate one word from the English language, what would it be? One of the offensive ones. There's no point to them. 15. What is something that strangers often incorrectly assume about you? that I am significantly younger than I actually am. Yeah, I feel like that's the most common one. 16. What is the most thoughtful present you have ever received? What is the most thoughtful present I've ever received? Like, I can't pick out one dragon, because, like, obviously I love dragons. And I guess it doesn't necessarily take a lot of thought to realize that I love dragons. So, I guess I couldn't say one of those is thoughtful or not. My parents did get me a Fitbit for, was it Christmas in 2020? And this was after, excuse me, this was after I told them I was on a diet and I was trying to watch my weight and walking more. So, you know, they took into consideration what I was talking about and bought me something relevant to that. Still use it after all this time. It's working out very well for me. What else has been very thoughtful? Like, I want to say, like, you know, the dragon quilt my mom made me because it took her a ton of time to work on it. Or the crocheted dragon my sister made me because, again, it took her a ton of time to work on it. But I don't know if that would necessarily be considered thoughtful. Because, again, you know, like, they were guaranteed to know, like, Liz will like this no matter what. Versus the Fitbit, for instance, I feel that it was thoughtful because it was something that I had mentioned and it was relevant to that. Like, I didn't mention the Fitbit itself, but I mentioned that, you know, I was trying to be healthier and I was dieting and I was counting my calories. So it was relevant to that in that moment. That, you know, it wouldn't have been a thoughtful present had they gotten it for me 3 years prior. Or, you know, whatever. Because I would have just been like, okay, what relevancy does this have to me? You know what I mean? Versus the dragon is always going to be relevant. And I'm always going to love it. And it requires no thought to know that I'm going to love it. So I guess it kind of just depends on your idea of what constitutes a thoughtful present. So, because I mean, if I have to go through every single dragon anyone's ever bought me, we're going to be here all day. And the whole video will just be me talking about the dragons people have bought me. 17. What is the wildest thing that ever happened at a wedding you attended? I mean, honestly, the wildest thing was at a friend's wedding. He got, you know, very drunk, and the groom fell over, landed on, like, you know, took one of the bridesmaids down with him. She popped right back up, and everybody, like, fawned over her to make sure she was okay. And no one gave a crap about the groom, and I was just like, is he okay? Like, you know, she got up, that's great. He's still down, you guys. I understand he's drunk, but, like, could we care a little? I guess, I don't know if that really counts as being wild, but yeah. The other weddings I've been to were small and, you know, didn't have alcohol or were too short to have anything to become wild. Oh, I guess I have been to another big one where a lot of people were getting very drunk. There was one where a girl came up to DJ and I, and we both thought she was coming on to us, like, separately. And then later on I was like, maybe she wanted to try something? I don't know. But, like, she was, what is it, white girl wasted? It was bad. And I just had sodas. So, like, I was the most sober person there. So it was kind of just like, yeah, no, you're crazy. 18. What is your favorite simple pleasure? Chocolate? Cross-stitching? Oh, no, I don't know if I can really consider cross-stitching simple. That is very complex pleasure for me. Like, it you know, I'll work on it for hours. I'll work on it for, like, a whole day, basically. I feel like simple needs to be quick and easy. I really like hot chocolate. I like sitting around watching TV, movies. Yeah. 19. What is your favorite thing about yourself? I like my eyes. They're really, really pretty because they're blue, but I have central heterochromia, so they're green right around the pupil, and it's really pretty. I like it, at least. It's kind of funny. In the past, I would say my hair, but I still like my hair. I really like my eyes. They're so blue and they're so pretty. But I have glasses, so they're always hidden. Whatever, we're moving on. I keep yawning. Blah. 20. What is the oddest way you ever accidentally hurt yourself? I mean, there was that time that I kicked the stepdresser, and I had a bruise where I kicked it, so it was on my foot just above my baby toe and my next toe. And then not too long after that, I had a huge bruise on the bottom of my foot, on like the sole of my foot. So it wasn't even, in like the corresponding opposite spot on my foot. It was lower down. So it was super weird. So it was very odd. We ended up going to the ER because like it hurt for me to walk. I popped a blood vessel or something. I didn't break anything, thankfully. But not a single one of the people working there believed me. But my mom was there. My mom saw it happen, and she backed me up. And they still were just like, no. 21. What is the best commercial you've ever seen? My favorite commercial. As I yawn more. Oh my goodness. I need to drink some water or something. This is ridiculous. Okay. My favorite commercial. Mr. Howell, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. I still have a shirt for that commercial that I got like freaking a decade ago or something, maybe even older. And I still wear it like religiously, basically. If I don't wear it on week 1, I wear it on week 2. It's very comfortable. And I love that commercial, so it always works for me. And I quote it all the time because I love it. I love it so much I bought a shirt for it. I'm sure there are videos of me wearing it. I don't know if I'd have to check on the internet, which obviously I'm not going to do right now because I'm doing narration, but there was a commercial. It was my mom's favorite one when we were in Germany. It was a T-Rex. Started, like he's rampaging around and he's grabbing these people, and he has this cheese and crackers in the plastic. So, like you peel the plastic cover off of it. One side of it is crackers, the other side is the dippable cheese. Or no, it wasn't crackers, it was the sticks. It was specifically the sticks, I remember now. So he opened it for the cheese side, and he would grab people, dip them in there, and eat them. And then, I don't remember if, like, the narrator says something or what, but eventually he shakes it, and he realizes it comes with sticks. So he doesn't need to be eating these people with the cheese, and he kind of just goes, duh! And, puts his... I almost said paw. That's not the correct term. His clawed hand? I don't know. To his head, like, because he was an idiot. It was so funny. I know the way I'm explaining it makes it the exact opposite, but loved that one. My whole family really liked all the Geico commercials, all of the... Oh, goodness. It was a garden gnome. What did he used to be the mascot of? I don't remember. Like, there was one where he tells people to back up or something, and then the car starts backing up, and he's like, no, don't back up, because they would run him over. Okay, now I am going to use the internet, because I actually want to know what it's for. Garden gnome commercial, I guess? No, don't back up. Travelocity? Does that sound right? What commercial is a gnome from? The roaming gnome commercial. I don't know if that's right or not. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously there was there was a car in the one I just mentioned, because he said, no, don't back up, and it was a car backing up onto him. So let's see. Travelocity gnome commercial. Oh, yeah, there we go. Am I going to die? It is him. Those always made my family giggle, and we still quote it to this day. And obviously, Lizardlea. I like lizards, so I like the gecko from Geico. He's cute. He's fun. Are there any other really good commercials? I know the Japanese commercials are just so insane and clever. They're always really fun. There was one, gosh, it wasn't Fruit by the Foot, but it was really similar to that. And I think it's a guy is trying to woo a girl, and then the girl keeps getting wooed by a different guy. I don't know. It was like a supercut of several different commercials, so it was actually super duper long, but it told a story. I remember that being funny. Yeah, I totally recommend Japanese commercials, even if you don't know what it's for, and you usually won't. They're great. 22. Somebody gives you billboard space for free. What do you put on it? Oh, goodness. What would I put on it? Play more Dungeons and Dragons. Go to my YouTube channel, Lizardlea. I don't know if I'd want to do that, because there are some really mean people out there. I don't want to bring in more haters. Although I haven't had to deal with any rude comments in a very long time, which is very nice. Those were always just very frustrating, because it's like you have to battle between, like, do I respond? Do I not respond at all? Do I delete it? Do I block them? You know, like, at what point do you just make a decision and you're like, nope, we're done? Because I don't know. But, you know, it does happen. That's always going to be. It's so weird to me. I've had so many people, you know, like, I apologize very easily. I feel bad and guilty, whether, you know, I'm at fault for something or not. Like, you know, if somebody else bumps into me, I'll say I'm sorry. That's how I am. That's how I've always been. My mom's the same way. I probably get it from her. I've had people at, like, all of my jobs, there's always been at least someone who's like, you know, oh, how could anyone dislike you, Liz? You're always so nice. And I'm like, yeah, exactly that. Like, there are people who hate nice people. I've met them. They're terrible people. They're very mean to me. They don't like me. I've had people who don't like my best friend, and I'm just like, literally, like, okay, I can have some attitude. I can be rude. I've never seen Holka be rude to a single person in her life. Like, she is just the kindest, sweetest soul. And there were people who would complain about her. And they're like, oh, she's too happy. Why is she being fake? And we tell them, like, no, bro, she's not being fake. Like, she's genuinely this kind of a person. Well, I don't like it. Okay, well, whatever, dude. You're at a Michael's. Go figure out your life somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know what else I would put on. I want another Harry Dresden book. I don't know. I'd have to, like, genuinely think about it. Because, I mean, like, yeah, I'd like to get more viewers. I'd love if this could just be my career, cross-stitching forever. I would cross-stitch, you know, 5 days a week, 8 hours every day. I would definitely do that. But I don't think that's something that the entire world would be interested in. Or even just, like one random street in Vegas. I don't know what that would accomplish necessarily. And honestly, I don't want too many words, because I will say I've been distracted before by ones that have too many words. And I'll be like, wait, what did that say? And it's like, oh, well, I already passed it. But then I'll still think about it for a little while. Like, I started it. It was intriguing. I don't know how it ended. I don't know. We're moving on now. 23. What is a song that immediately takes you back to a particular moment in your life? Cascade's Every Time We Touch takes me back to high school when I was a junior. I believe it was the sophomores. It was either the sophomores or the freshmen. One of them, their little lip sync began with Every Time We Touch. Or maybe it was in the middle somewhere. It was in there, and I remember all the guys danced to it. And it was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. That same year, the seniors did a compilation of songs as well, and one of theirs was We Didn't Start the Fire. But my thing that killed me was, the seniors won that year, and they should not. They should have gotten last place, because it's called a lip sync. There were 3 out of, the 70 seniors lip syncing, excuse me. It was ridiculous. Yes, it was the most fun because it was all of them dancing and getting up, but it was a lip sync. And barely anybody was lip syncing. It was so bad. It annoyed me so much. I'm still annoyed to this day. Mostly because that class, a lot of them were really nasty. They were, all they cared about was school spirit. And if you didn't care as much as they did, they treated you like trash. And it was terrible. Some of my best friends were in the class of 09. They were not those popular kids that were rude to other people because they didn't show up to Wacky Tacky Day looking like they took the whole thrift store home. I did take the whole thrift store home, alright? Not a single person didn't realize I was dressing up for Wacky Tacky Day on Wacky Tacky Day. 24. What is a smell you associate with your childhood? Oh man, I apologize in advance, you guys. My dad used to work at a wastewater plant when we lived in Germany. I have never smelled such a terrible smell as a wastewater plant. -2 out of 10. Would not recommend. Yeah. I mean, we would go and, I specifically remember going into the office area where he and his coworkers were, the break room type area, and playing dominoes. And even in there, several hundred feet away from the actual machinery that handled the wastewater, you could still smell it. It was bad. And then I also remember walking up and looking into it, and I don't think I was as scared of that as I should have been, because, it had a railing, but, how some people get vertigo, you look over and you start feeling dizzy? If you fell into that, not only would you want to die from the smell, I don't know what safety measures they had to get someone out. Obviously it's been a very long time. That was elementary school for me. I don't know if there was a ladder. I don't know if there was an emergency stop, because I remember there was a huge spinner in the middle. And I don't know if it was blades or a single blade, or if it was just, a rod that would knock you around but ultimately wouldn't hurt too bad. I don't know. I don't remember. And I don't really want to ask. It's not necessary for me to know for sure. 25. What is a unique tradition your family had? We always did the open one Christmas present on Christmas Eve. We also did, oh crap, what was it called? You would leave candy in your shoes. Or, excuse me, you wouldn't leave candy in your shoes. You would leave your shoes outside in the hopes that when you woke up there'd be candy in them. I want to say it was a German holiday. Let me see. German holiday. Whoopsie daisy. Shoes candy? It may not actually be a German holiday. St. Nicholas Day, is that right? On the night of December 5th, children clean and polish their boots and leave them outside the door before going to sleep. Next morning, they find their shoes filled with nuts, candy, and small gifts from St. Nicholas. That's what it was. We would do that, especially when we were in Germany, because, you know, it was one of the traditions there. And then I don't think we kept it on for too much longer after this, but when we were in Spain on New Year's Eve, as it struck midnight, we would have skinned grapes in like a little can and like a toothpick, and you would try and just eat 12 of them before, you know, like the 12 gongs or whatever would go off to announce that, you know, it's 12, it's midnight. That was really fun. And of course the grapes were delicious. Like all the food in Spain was amazing. So of course even their canned grapes were good. That was really fun. I don't know if there's really anything else that's really unique. I know a lot of times instead of turkey, we do ham, but we still do turkey sometimes. It's just, Thanksgiving, turkey is not guaranteed with us. So, or at least it didn't used to be. I don't know. Maybe that's changed. I'm not sure. 26. What is a fictional food you would most like to try? Almost anything from Studio Ghibli. Dude, their food looks amazing. They take it so seriously. I've watched them and been like, I'm hungry now, thanks. 27. What was something that wound up being totally different than you imagined it to be? Totally different. I almost said D&D, but no, like it's even better than I imagined it to be, which isn't totally different, you know. What was totally different than I imagined it to be? I have no idea. Being in a long-term relationship? It's, well, I mean, again, it's so much better than I imagined it to be. Totally different. I mean, I know DJ and I aren't married, but like meeting, you know, what is the equivalent of the in-laws? There's always horror stories of, you know, like the monster-in-law and all of these things, and DJ's family is wonderful. Like, they all accepted me so quickly. I got invited to his dad's wedding. God, I don't even think we were together for a year before I was invited. And that was in Sedona, so, like, you know, that was a long drive. It was a beautiful wedding. You know, I've spent Christmas Eve dinners with his mom. Like, his brother's a dork, but I mean, so is mine, so it's fine. But, like, it's just, it's so much better than I thought it would be, because TV and everything else always made me worry that, you know, they would hate me and they'd think I'm taking David from them and it's me or them or me or him or whatever. And I just, completely different from what I imagined it to be. So much better. Like, if one of his family members calls his phone and he's sleeping, I'll answer it. Very early on in the relationship, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. That's terrifying. Like, they might hate me. But now I'm just like, hi, Dave. You know, like, it doesn't matter. You know, usually if they're like, oh, hey, Liz, is DJ asleep? And I'm like, yes, he is. So, you know, they already know what's happening if I answer the phone. It's great. Yeah, it's so much better than I ever imagined it could be. 28. What is one trend you wish would come back in style? almost said side ponytails, but I don't know. Do I want them to come back? I remember them being comfortable. But I don't know if they look cool. I don't know. I've never been super trendy, so not a huge concern of mine, honestly. I remember I really liked fabric pants before jeans. My mom forced me to get rid of them in, gosh, what was it, 3rd or 4th grade, and I had to start wearing jeans. And I was so upset about it because the jeans were so uncomfortable in comparison. But yeah, looking back, people were making fun of me for not wearing jeans. Kind of wish those kinds of pants were back in style because they were so comfortable. And they weren't yoga pants. They weren't sweatpants. It was just, like patterned fabrics. I don't know. But now I find jeans to be incredibly comfortable. So, I don't know. I guess it worked out in the end. 29. Do you think you could live in outer space for a year? I don't think I'd be able to cross-stitch, so that'd be a problem, so no. Like, if they gave me a ton of money to do it, I'd do it, but... 30. Do you think you could live in a plastic bubble at the bottom of the sea for 1 year? No? I don't know. Like, my thing is, like, I'd probably be willing to do these things if I had so much money that when I came back after that year, I'd be guaranteed to just do whatever I want for the rest of my life. Like, I could buy my family a mansion. I could buy DJ's family a mansion. I could buy DJ and I a mansion. Like, we'd have so much money that none of us would have to work another day of our lives. Then I'd be willing to do these things for a year. As long as, there isn't a high mortality rate. Because, like, if there's a high chance I'm going to die, no way. 31. If money were no object, what outrageous luxury would you add to your house? I found on Facebook a gate. Like the gate you would put on the road for your car to pass through. And it was a dragon. It was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. So immediately I showed David and I was like, if we ever become billionaires, we're getting this gate. And he laughed and he was like, okay. So that would totally happen. 32. What villain do you secretly cheer for? I mean, secretly, none. Because if I'm rooting for a villain, I will just cheer for the villain, whatever. But I usually prefer the good characters, generally. So, like, I love the villains in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. But I still didn't want them to win. I wanted the Elric brothers to win. The Toguro brothers were super interesting in Yu Yu Hakusho, but I still wanted Yusuke to win. So, yeah, I can't remember a show where I hated the hero and I wanted the villain to win. I mean, I don't know. Let me Google, like, best villains and see if there's anything I recognize. Best villains. I always spell villains wrong. I'm such a dum-dum. I do villains instead of villains. The Joker, heck no. Darth Vader, no. Thanos, no. Norman Bates, Hannibal Lecter. Loki, Hans Gruber, Annie Wilkes. Freddy Krueger, oh, okay. But that's not a secret. Like, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. It's Freddy Krueger. Alex DeLarge. Oh, I did not like A Clockwork Orange. Ultron, Voldemort, Anton Chigurh, Amon Goth. What? No. Oh my god, no. Palpatine, Magneto. I like him, but I usually preferred the better, or I almost said gooder. That isn't the correct term, but better also isn't the word I'm looking for. The kinder X-Men, I guess. Red Skull, Hans Landa, Nurse Ratched, Jack Torrance, Terminator, Dracula, Max Cady. I don't think I've seen Cape Fear. Lex Luthor. No. So I guess it's just gonna be Freddy Krueger up there. But even then, like, on the first one and the third one, I was rooting for the heroes. You know, I was rooting for Nancy in both of those. The other films, I don't really remember caring enough about the heroes to be rooting for them. But, you know, by the fourth movie, it was like, Robert Englund is amazing. He's one of the best actors I've ever seen. Heck yeah, I'm gonna root for the bad guy to kill all the kids that are being stupid. But then it's not secret, so I guess none. My bad. 33. If you could make up a new holiday, what would it be? I mean, I'd love there to be a cross-stitch day. Or just an arts and crafts day, where everybody gets to do something all day that's artsy-fartsy, that, you know, they've always wanted to try, or that they've never tried before. You know, because I know a lot of schools force you to take an arts credit, but it's not the same as, like, oh, hey, here's a day where, you know, we give you just all kinds of art supplies, and you can go through all of them and try them all out, see if there's one you like. Maybe it turns out you really like wood burning. Would you have ever found that out otherwise? Probably not. So yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. And that is the end of For Heavenly Beasts Day 40. I got 5 hours and 22 minutes of footage. There's all the progress. There's only like 6 or 7 colors left. And most of them, it's 310, so pure black, and 38 something. Like, it's a really, really, really dark brown. So, I'm saving the darker ones for later. I might cross stitch tomorrow. We'll see. Do you have anything you would like to say, handsome man?
What about if I wanted to add something?
I didn't say that.
Yeah, but what if I want to add something?
What would you like to add?
Probably numbers.
What numbers, honey?
I don't know. 37 and 48.2.
Why?
They're interesting numbers.
Okay, what do they add to?
I don't know that. That's why I'd like to add them. Did you enjoy the book?
That's right. I finished Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. So we can talk about that in my next video. So that'll be like 2 videos prior to this is when we discuss it.
The next video, 2 videos prior to this, will be when we discuss the thing you just finished. Yeah, the timeline on these is rough.
Yeah, I think it'll be, well, no, I don't think it'll be 2 videos ago. I think it'll be the video prior. I think it'll be day 39.
I hope to God it's this video.
I mean, what else do we have to talk about right now?
The Americans and Guards.
We haven't finished the Americans. And I'm not enjoying Guards. Why would I talk about Guards before a book that I finished?
You chuckled once or twice. You're halfway through.
Really?
Almost halfway.
Okay.
It's short.
Well, that's good. Like, subscribe, share, comment. All that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next video.